So this is probably the hardest test route in Hendon, and I'm going to show you how to do it properly. Let's go. So once you get in your car, the examiner is going to tell you not to drive on probably when they're doing their checks. But once they get in and then they tell you to get the car ready and drive on, we're going to put our seatbelt on and get the car started. And we're on a hill right now, so it's really important that you start off with the hill start if you're driving a manual car. If you do it wrong, let's say you get the car ready and then you release the handbrake, your car is going to roll backwards and you could potentially fail. People have failed here for that before. So make sure before you do anything else, get the biting point, look around properly. I'll put a signal on here as well because it can get quite busy, and then off the brake and then smoothly, not even coming off the clutch, I'm just having it at the biting point, checking around me still as I move around, as I move off. Because it's raining, and I make sure I put my wipers on, and we're going to turn right at the end. So center mirror, signal right. Here, make sure you position yourself to the left. A lot of people fail here because they go to the right hand side because they've heard the word right, but that's for people coming in. And I'm going to creep out slowly. There's a hedge here covering my view, and there are cars potentially coming from that side over there. Just going to creep out using my clutch control nice and smoothly. And then once I'm out, I can carry on now. I'm not going to go too fast around here, so around 10 miles an hour is good. Keep it nice and slow until I come out there. They can get you to turn right here, but we're going to go to the end, which is a bit harder. So right, this side is not so difficult because it's not a really busy road over there, but this one down here is a busy main road, and turning right at the end of there can be sometimes really tricky. It's all about being patient and taking the right chance. Over these speed bumps, they're very, very harsh. So go over them slowly. Just like that, off the gas. And then over the bump. So my car is steaming up a little bit here. I'm just gonna make sure that I keep my windscreen clear. I'm gonna turn on the fan, put the AC on as well. We're gonna turn right at the end, so mirror, signal right. Put it on cold. Got a pedestrian at the end of the road, so I'm going to let them cross. And my intentions were clear as well by letting them cross by stopping nice and early. And then creep up to the giveaway line. So this is where it's difficult now. I've got to deal with cars coming from that side and that side. So I'm checking both sides constantly. Once I see a nice gap on both sides, I'm going to go. What you see a lot of people do is just focusing on one side. That's wrong, because if you focus on one side too much, you're going to have to then concentrate on this side afterwards. But if you focus on both sides at the same time, you will know when you've got a nice gap, then you can take it. So 30 miles per hour here, starting to increase my speed, checking behind me as well to see who's next to me. There's a motorbike behind me. There's also a bus ahead of me at the bus stop pulling off. So I'm hoping no one's going to try to go around him, but you never know, they might still do that. Then ahead we've got a zebra crossing. I'm just going to slow down, come on my brake a little bit because I can't really see on that side of the crossing. And you see there's a person there crossing. Check both sides, check mirrors, and then carry on driving because there's no one else crossing. I'm going to get into third. So we're approaching another roundabout and we're going to go right, third exit here. So I'm just going to start slowing down. I need to think about what gear I'm in. I'm in third gear right now and I want to do this roundabout in second. So I'm going to mirror, signal right, get into second gear. I don't want to go past these cars too fast because they're in a traffic jam because they're turning right, they're turning left and there's lots of traffic that way. I'm going to go into first, check the right properly. There is a car coming from there, so I'm going to wait until it's clearer. Keep checking. I see a nice gap now. There's no one coming from the right anymore, so now I can go into the roundabout. Being careful with this car here. Put my signal back on because it's cancelled. Once I get around here, I'm going to go more towards the left, checking my mirrors first, and then signal left as well to come off, and then cancel my signal. Here, a lot of people will forget their signal on, and then if you go past this road with your signal on, that's potentially a serious fault, especially if someone is there. That could be very dangerous. So make sure once you come off the roundabout, you're cancelling your signal. So another zebra crossing there. I can check my mirrors, check both sides. It looks like it's nice and clear, there's no one there. So then I can carry on in third gear without worrying too much. So going around this bend, can't really see around the bend properly, but once I get to this point, it looks like it's nice and clear. Still on a 30-mile-an-hour road. So on my dial there, showing 30 miles per hour. Ease off the gas a bit, check my mirrors when I'm going past this island so that I can go around it nicely. Check my right mirror. I'm going towards the right, so I want to make sure there's no one next to me before I do that. So still doing around 30. Here it's nice and wide on that side and not so much on my side, so I can go a bit over the line because there's not enough space on this lane here. Once I get more space, once the lane gets a bit bigger, then I can go back into my lane a bit more and then out again. So you need to keep a lookout how much space you have between you and the parked vehicles, because if there's not enough space, you might want to move a bit more towards the right. Checking my mirror. My mirror is a bit wonky, so I'm just going to adjust it slightly. And it's looking good now. Checking the right. So you want to be aware who's around you. Don't constantly look at mirrors for no reason, but be aware what's next to you. And especially before you go change direction, like now, before I go to the right, I'll check my mirror first. And then before I slow down, check my center mirror first. So it looks like it's quite busy, so it should be a fun drive because there's going to be a lot of people. I'm in third, go straight to first because I slowed down enough for first gear. And then now it's just about creeping in this slow moving traffic. I think a lot of people pray for busy situations on their test. But you have to remember, when it's busy like this, things can still happen. So you need to still pay attention. And especially in the morning time, people are in a rush as well. So even if it's busy, things can still happen. So be prepared for busy times of the day. So I'm keeping a nice distance between me and the car in front, not getting too close to them. Because whatever happens in front is going to affect that car, and then it's going to affect me as well. Just like that car turning made the car slow down a bit. We've got cars coming out from the left there. That car came out quite aggressively. So we've got another one on the left, but he has to wait because there's a giveaway lane there. That can be quite scary. If you're a learner and you see people doing that, it can be a bit off-putting, but you have to practice enough and get confident about who has priority at certain junctions so that you know that you have priority, so that you're not scared. So here you notice to go slowly, I'm just using my clutch, up and then down, up and then down. Then once I go a bit faster, off the clutch fully, then I can add more gas. In this slow traffic, you're going to use your clutch a lot, so have your foot ready. Don't have it down here. Have it ready so you can use it when you need to. Just like the cars are slowing down or stopping here, have my clutch ready. Because at this sort of speed, it's going to be clutch first and then brake. Yeah, in first gear going really slowly, you're going to clutch first and then brake. Because if you clutch after you brake, there's a strong chance that you're going to stall. Going a bit faster now, so I can go into second. In this situation here, don't feel like, oh my god, I get left behind, and then start speeding. Just drive casually, because look, there's still lots of traffic ahead of us. It doesn't make sense trying to like catch up to this person. Just drive normally, and you're going to catch them anyway at some point, especially when heavy traffic like this. We're going to turn left at the roundabout. So I'm just going to check my center, check my left, and then signal left around here. Positioning myself towards the left, and I'm already checking the right hand side to see what kind of traffic is coming from there. It's looking clear right now. Check again, check one more time, and then I can make my turn. You see a lot of people, they'll commit into the roundabout after like one check. That's not good enough. Before you actually go over the giveaway lines, make sure you know 100% that it's safe. And the best way to do that is by double checking, maybe even triple checking. Got another roundabout coming up, so I'm just going to start slowing down. I can see traffic from the right hand side already turning, so that's going to make us slow down. Going to first, I'm looking out for the indicators. If the indicators come towards me, give this van a bit of time to move out the way, then I can carry on. Got another zebra crossing. So check my mirrors. It's looking clear. I'm going to pull over on the left. So mirror, mirror, signal. I'm going to pull over by the yellow line. Actually, I'll go into the parking spot. There's a nice parking spot here, so I can stop here. I'll secure the car. And then the examiner will say, okay, drive on again when you're ready. We're going to follow the road towards the left, because right now it splits into two, so we'll follow it towards the left. I can see the traffic in my mirror here. I can't really see much in there, but I can see most of them through this mirror here. But I'm still going to do my checks, including my blind spot checks. So check over this side, and then over there. And I'm going to put my signal on. I've heard people saying, if you put your signal on now and someone stops for you and lets you out, that's a fail. That's not true. Yeah, if you come out and force them to stop, then it's a fail. So right now I'm just going to use this mirror to see where they're coming from. And if I see a nice big gap, then I'll do one more check over my shoulder before I move off. I still see lots of cars coming down. I've got my car in gear, ready to go though, because once I see a gap, I want to take it. So like now I see a car, the last car here, check over my shoulder, and then handbrake down, check again, and then move out nice and smoothly without needing to rush because there's no one coming down from there. So we're going towards the left. I'm going to position myself towards the left, but not too much because there's a van there anyway, so I don't want to go and get stuck behind that van. I'm just going to position myself like here. And once that car goes past, once that car moves out the way a bit more, I'm not trying to squeeze in. I'm just going to wait for a nice gap. Yeah, if I'm not sure about the gap, I'll just wait. Yeah. Don't do things that you're not sure about. Be 100% sure that it's safe. There's no need to rush if there's not enough space. So like this car's moved that way a bit more. Now I can go through. And we've got the stop signs here. Lots of people fail here. We're going to go left, and I'm going to come to a full stop, which means stopping like this, yeah, and then checking, and then driving on again. So I didn't go through there slowly without stopping. I actually came to a full stop. And it sounds really obvious, but I've explained to people so many times, and they still do it. They still go through it slowly, and they say, oh, but I did stop, when they didn't. You have to make sure your wheels have stopped moving, and then check, and then drive through. Okay, still 30, so I'm just gonna go into third. It looks like it's nice and clear around here. And then I can see a sign up ahead saying 20. So I'm gonna reduce my speed and get to 20 before I get to the sign. I'll get into second gear here. So I'm doing 20 before I get to the sign. Because if I do 20 after the sign, then I'm breaking the speed limit. Yeah, it's looking good through here so far. I can see a 30 sign up ahead, but remember, if I do 30 now, that's breaking the speed limit. 30 starts after the sign. I'm gonna pull over on the left in a safe place. Mirror, mirror, signal. I'll pull over just here. Then secure your car. I heard a little beep. I'm not sure if it was for me, but if it was, I don't really care because I was doing the speed limit. So people sometimes might pressure you to go faster in a 20. Ignore them. Right now we're going to do some independent driving. We're going to start off by following signs for totterage. So remember, on this section, if you're not sure, ask the examiner where you're going. If you get lost, don't worry about asking them. It's not really to test your map skills or memory skills. It's to test that you can drive safely when you're doing your own turns. But if you get lost or if you're not sure where you're going, ask them. So now we're following signs for totterage. So I'm going to look around. I'll signal right. Looking clear. Check again one more time. And then add more gas. Into second. So I remember like this last speed limit that I saw was 30. And I'm approaching the roundabout, so I'm looking for the signs already. And I can see there's a sign saying totterage is that way. So I'm coming from the bottom of the sign. I'm not concerned too much about where it says burnt oak and edgeware. I'm only concerned about where it says totterage, because I'm going to deal only with the first roundabout. So I'm going to go into first here. So it's looking like it's quite busy. I've got a car coming from over there blocking this other car, so then I can make my move. This car here needs to wait for me, and then I can carry on. So you need to be confident in that situation to know that car has to wait for you, because again, that can be really scary if you see someone coming towards you like that. But if you're confident, and you know what you're doing, they'll realize they need to stop for you, and then they'll stop. But be prepared though, if they don't stop, obviously then you have to use your brakes, but in most situations like that, they will stop. Getting into first, there are lots of traffic here, and the next bit of the independent driving would be to follow signs for central London or follow signs for Brent Cross. And this is going to be on Apex Corner. Now when Apex Corner, when it's busy like this, when there's traffic like this, it's going to be very difficult to get on. Normally when it's really busy, they don't bring you around here, but there's a chance that they could come down here when it's busy. So it's a good idea to practice this roundabout before you do your test in Hendon or Mill Hill. So if you see lots of traffic leading up to it, there's a strong chance that when you get there, it's going to be quite difficult to get on, but I'll show you how to do it. It requires a lot of patience. We might even get beat by other people, but that's the way it goes sometimes. It's all about doing it safely for yourself. Don't let people pressure you. And in this kind of situation as well, I see a lot of learners get flustered because let's say the cars in front of us move, and then they're trying to get ready to move with them as well. They get really panicked and think, oh my God, I'm getting left behind, and end up stressing out for no reason. And this car is moving out the way, but there's no need to. Look, this police car's got lots of space on the side. I think some people, when they hear sirens, just their automatic response is just to move out to the left. But you need to do it in a thought-through way. Do you need to go to the left? Here, you don't need to. So, got quite a few people on the left trying to join this road. So here, I'm not trying to like force these guys to stay in their thing. I'm not gonna be forceful about it because we're not going anywhere fast anyway. If they want to come through, I'll let them come through, but I'm not gonna stop here and let everybody come through. I'll keep moving slowly so they know that this car's coming through, but then everyone else can wait. And also be careful not to get too close to this car as well. So once I get to like around here, I'll stop. This just lets your intentions know to the other driver, because if you stay behind loads, everyone's going to think either you're letting them through, or that you're not really in a rush to go forward, or that you've been really nice. So then everyone's going to pour out of that junction, and then people behind you are thinking, come on man, we've got to go somewhere as well. So just make your intentions clear by moving a certain way like I've just done now. So once we start moving, check my mirrors. Now go forward a bit. I'm going to keep checking that mirror in case, because sometimes people will still try to nip in at the last second. I'm going to keep checking it until I know there's no one else coming through there. And you notice I've got my hands kind of relaxed here as well. I see so many people have this impression that they have to be like really tense and, you know, have your hands here all the time. No, just relax guys. Like if your hands are comfortable here, but you can still control the car properly, yeah. So like right now I've got my hand a bit rested here because we've been in this traffic for a while now. I've got my hands here. I could have it here sometimes, yeah. It's not really a big deal as long as your car's controlled. So we're approaching the roundabout now, but I'm going to deal with the zebra crossing first, because so many people, they'll be so focused on the roundabout they forget what's first, which is the zebra crossing. But there's no one here. I'm going to position myself towards the right because we're going to right third exit. I'm going to keep a distance. This is a hill as well, so this is a quite steep hill, so it's quite stressful if you're not good at hill starts. So before you come here, before you do a test, you should be good at hills anyway. So make sure you check out this other video to help you do hills properly. But people here, before they get to the giveaway line, they have to deal with the hill first. But if you practice hills, it's nice and easy. It's not too stressful. Once I get a bit closer, I'm going to let people know where I'm going, which is to the right. So I'm going to signal right. I also want to keep a nice gap so I can see the floor markings as well. Yeah, let me just put my handbrake on for a second. I want to see the floor markings, so I'm going to keep a nice gap between me and the car in front so that I can see what's written on the floor. As you can see, it's splitting into 2 lanes, 3 lanes now. Yeah, once I get here, I'll signal right. This arrow is a little bit confusing. It says it says straight, but you can use this lane to turn right as well. You can even use that lane to turn right too, but this lane so far is going to be easier for what we're trying to do. So I'm checking the right for a nice gap. Didn't fancy that one, so I'm going to wait for a safer gap. But here, I'm not gonna come out of gear. I'm gonna stay ready. I've got my car in gear 1, got my clutch down, a brake on, and I'm just gonna wait for a gap. And then once I see a gap, I'm gonna go forward. Keep it to the right the whole time. So looking for a pause in the traffic. This bus is there though, so I'm gonna wait a bit more. So once I don't see anybody coming towards me, I'll go. So that would have been risky. I wouldn't have gone there if I was that driver. So I see that car indicating to the left, but this car is here coming towards us. Once this car's gone, a nice gap now, then I go. You see, there's never really a need to take risks like that because you're gonna get a gap at some point. Light turns green, then I can carry on going. Making sure I stick to my lane here because this is the spiral roundabout. It's gonna take us to our exit. If I go in that lane, it's gonna take us somewhere else. Once I get here, signal left, keep an eye on that light. Check my mirrors as well, they're coming off. Lots of gas now. Checking my mirrors both sides. And then I want to go back to the left lane when it's safe. The whole time increasing my speed. And then I'll cancel my signal. Speed limit here is 50. But everyone ahead is going slower, so I'm just going to start braking as well. And here, because these cars are going slowly due to congestion, I can go past them slowly. I've made other videos about undertaking and that you're not supposed to do it. And lots of people in the comments are saying, oh, you can undertake as long as you're not breaking the speed limit. That's not true. You shouldn't undertake even if you're below the speed limit. When you can undertake or pass people on the left is if there's traffic like now. It doesn't make sense for me then to slow down. But if there's traffic in that lane and this lane's going and this lane's free, then I can go past them, but slowly. So we're still following signs for Brent Cross, and at this sign here is showing us that it's straight second exit, and normally the best lane for straight second exit is the left lane. So we're already in the left lane, so we're going to use that lane to go straight. And then I can also look at this sign here, because sometimes this lane might not be for going straight, but this sign is confirming that we can use the left lane to go straight. Sometimes the left lane is only for turning left. If that was the case, I would have to move over to the right, but that sign confirmed you can use either lane, but I'm going to use the left lane to do it. We've got a bus coming out of a bus stop. So on dual carriageways, normally the buses have to wait for you, especially when you're going fast. But in this situation, I'm guessing he's going to have the opportunity to come out. And if I was close to him, I'll probably let them out as well because we're not going that fast here. And it doesn't make sense to try to go past them. So we're approaching the roundabout. I can see it's controlled by lights. So once I get nearer, I'm just going to keep an eye on the light. I'm going to check the right. I'm not too concerned too much about the right because I've got a red light, but I'm just going to check anyway. And I'm talking about cars coming from the right hand side on the roundabout. Because I've seen learners, when they go through, they are checking too much and slowing down even though the light is green. Don't do it like that, because the whole point of it being controlled by lights is so you can go through if it's green light. So once I get into the roundabout, I'm going to keep left the whole time and then signal left as I go past the first exit. So I'm already planning my exit, which is what you want to do, you guys. Don't start thinking about before, after. Think about it before. Yeah, so it's green, so I'm going to go through. Nothing's coming from there. Once I get here, make sure I go past the exit first so people don't get confused. Once I get here, I'll signal left. So these cars on the left should wait for us. So even though that car's coming towards the giveaway line quite quickly, but like I kept saying in this video, be confident. And then now, I was going to increase my speed, but then the car in front started indicating to turn, which means it's going to slow down a bit, but now I can carry on. Still 50 miles per hour. And then get into fourth. Checking my mirrors. The car in front of me is going below 50. I could overtake him. I'm going to show you how to do it actually. Let me overtake him. I'm not going to rush because there's cars behind me as well. and he's slowing down some more. He might be turning. I don't know what they're doing. Okay, there's another car in front of them going slowly. So there's a lot going on here. I'm not going to try to overtake anybody right now. There's too much going on. There's lots of cars on my side, and the car in front is going a bit slow. I'll make sure I keep a nice distance, especially on a wet day like this. Keep a nice distance between you and the vehicle in front. And now we're following signs for A1. We're not following signs for Brent Cross anymore. We're following signs for the A1. Checking my mirrors. See everyone braking up ahead, so I'm just going to check my center mirror, cover my brakes, start braking a bit as well actually, because everyone's braking because of the red light. I'm in 5th right now. I'm going to keep it in 5th. Once I get here, clutch down, and then get into 1st because everyone's pretty much stopped. The light is going to green, so I'm going to try then keep moving, check my mirrors, and then into 2nd. Still 50. So that road now is branching off towards the right. Now we're on the A1 going towards this way. Check my mirrors before I approach this light. And then here, these two lanes are merging together. I can see the arrow on the floor there pointing towards the left, which means I need to check this mirror to make sure there's no one coming in front of me as these lanes merge together. Up ahead, I can see a car indicating left, which means they're probably going to be turning, which they did turn into that road there. And I can carry on now. Yeah, approaching some traffic lights up ahead. They're green, but they might change at some point. So I'm just going to check my mirrors, see who's next to me, who's behind me, and then I'm going to choose a point of no return. Once I get here, oh, there we go. It was just at my point of no return. I can stop. Yeah, so always pick a point of no return. If the lights change at that point, you start slowing down so you can stop. So here I'm looking at the lights. Once they go green, I'm gonna go start moving forward. Make sure there's no one coming through from this side. So like there, you see, sometimes people do that. That car really shouldn't have gone through, but they were quite far forward, and I suspected that they might do it. So next traffic lights, we're gonna turn right. And these lights are quite close, so I'm just going to check my mirror, signal, check again, move to the middle lane, keep checking my mirror one more time, and then go into the right lane. So the traffic lights were turning right, so I'm going to start slowing down from now. Still got my signal on, and then into 2nd, go into this little slip road here, and it's turning red. I'm just going to stop by the giveaway line, by the stop line, sorry. Into 1st or into neutral, it's up to you. So once the last car's gone through, I can start moving forward a bit. I'm going to position myself just here, so opposite this car here. I can go even a little bit more forward. There's a big puddle there, lucky got my window closed. So here I'm looking out for a big gap, and I'm also looking out for the light to show me a green arrow, which would mean that those guys have a red light as well. So I'm going to stay focused, because here, this is the last place you want to be dilly-dallying. You want to be focused on the lights and the traffic, so that when you get a nice gap, you can make a move. If you stay here for too long, those cars over there are going to start coming towards you. So I've got my eyes here, so those cars are stopping now. Make sure everyone's stopped, then I can make a move. We're going to take the next left. Mirror, mirror, signal left. And then here there's a giveaway line here. You need to make sure that you've checked. I don't know what this person's doing. Is he giving me way? I guess he is. That was a bit confusing. So he's got priority, but I don't know what he was doing. Maybe he thought we had priority, but in that case, just make sure you communicate with him properly. So he was doing this to me. That's a clear sign that he's letting me go through, so I went through carefully. Just because they've slowed down a bit, don't just think, oh, I'm going to go through. You need to make sure that they are aware that you're there. otherwise could be problems for you. You're going to slow down a bit here, down this hill, checking that side. And then at the end here I'm going to turn right, so I'm going to check my center, right mirror, signal right. It's a very close junction, which means I can't see the left or the right properly, so I'm definitely going to use first gear for this. Maybe even come to a stop. There's a car coming down from the left. Open my window a little bit so I can hear more. Okay, this person is stopping there. Thank you. So they had priority, that person. They could have gone round us and turned in, but they decided to let us come out, which is why you want to be looking at people as well. So a lot of learners in that kind of situation, they would just be looking forward. You need to look at other drivers, communicate with them. So this girl is deciding, I'm going to turn left here. Let her cross. Make sure there's no one coming from that side. And then make my turn. So that person was parked on the zebra crossing. Not a good place to park because it makes it very difficult to see what's going on. Let me get into second, then into first. It's a bit tight through here. So remember, when it's tight like this, go slowly. And we're turning right here. This is where a lot of people fail as well, because when they hear the word right, they try to go in the right-hand lane here to turn right, but that's for oncoming traffic. You want to stick to this side. There's only one lane for going straight and right. You can't use that lane over there because that's for people that are coming from this way and going that way. So I'm looking at that green light over there for those people going this way. Once that changes, then it's going to be our turn, potentially. It could be pedestrians next, but most likely going to be us. So that's going to be a clue for me. So like now it's going to amber for them. I'm going to think about getting ready. So now it's going green. I'll position myself just here, make sure my signal's back on. So this way, these cars behind me can go past, then these cars can go past as well. Once that light's gone to red, that car has to stop, then I can make my turn. So mirror, mirror, signal left. I'm watching out for any cars coming from over there, but there's only one car, there's two cars there now. See where he's going towards the right, but that car's blocking him. Then I can make my move. Yeah, so before you go, make sure they actually are getting blocked, and then go. Into third. And here the examiner might say pull over on the left in a safe place. So mirror, mirror, signal. I'm going to pull over. I could have pulled over before. I'm going to pull over between those two cars. So I'll go into first gear for this because it's going to be a bit harder. Yeah. And then straighten up, use first gear, clutch down, and stop there. Okay, then they'll say drive on again when you're ready. If you find yourself too close to a car, you can reverse back a bit, but here it's going to be fine. So I'm going to check my mirrors and then do my blind spot check. I'll signal as well because it's quite a busy road. Then I'll come out slowly, checking the right and the blind spot as well. Notice I didn't want to come out too wide because there's a car coming there. If the road is narrower and there's a car coming towards me, I would wait until they've gone past and then come out. Okay, so this is not a pedestrian crossing, so that lady has to wait for me to go past first and then she can cross. Make sure you know the difference between pedestrian crossing and refuge islands like that, because you don't need to stop for them there unless they're walking the road and it's different. We're going to turn right here. So mirror, mirror, signal right, get into first. So this should be interesting here because we've got lots of traffic on the dual carriageway that we're trying to join. Excuse me. And we've got lots of cars in front of me as well. So I'm going to be very careful how I deal with this. I want to make sure I've got enough space. Okay, now it's going red. I've got no choice but to wait here. But if there was still green, I would want to make sure I've got space to go into the junction there before I go forward. If there was no space, even if the light was green, I would wait behind the line. So I want to make sure I can clear the junction once I go in. And it looks like if I go in the middle, the traffic on the right hand lane is moving forward, so I will have space to clear the junction once the light goes green. And the traffic over there is moving as well. So this is what you want to do. Look at the whole situation. Don't just look here, look everywhere. So now all the traffic on that side is moving. I'll go in the middle. We've got this car in front turning as well. We've got the arrow showing us where to position ourselves. I'm going to creep forward a little bit more so I can see, and stretch my neck out a bit more so I can see that bus is coming down the road. Once I see a nice gap, I'm going to take it. So once that car's gone, stretch a bit more, looks like it's clear, then I can make my move. Aim straight for the right, for the left lane. So here, sometimes you have people parking up, you have cars coming out of the parking spots, you've got lorries sometimes partially blocking the lane, buses stopping here. This can be quite a tricky place to drive through when it's busy. For some reason, a lot of learners here feel like they can't stop. When there's something in front of them, they feel like they have to keep moving. Because I don't know, I think because it's a dual carriageway, but if something is in front of you, like a bus or a lorry, and you can't go past them, you just need to stop, check your mirrors properly, and then go through once it's safe. Okay, so now it's going to green. Mirror checks, make sure that car in front moves first before I start moving. And then I'm gonna get into second before I make the turn, because it's kind of fast here. It's a lot smoother in second. 30 miles an hour now. The sign on the corner there is very hidden. If you're not looking out for it, you will miss it. But it's now back to 30 miles per hour. And here, the examiner might say take the second right. So the first one was just where that guy's walking. Second one is just where that car is now. So mirror, mirror, signal right after the first right so that people don't get confused. And then I'm going to look out for this car coming down the road, and I'll wait for them. Yeah, I don't want to risk anything. If I feel like they're a bit close, I'll wait for them to go past. But here there's a nice big gap. Check my right mirror, get my biting point, and then smoothly into the turn. Here I'm just going to keep it in first gear, nice and slowly, back towards the test center now. And you'll be thinking, did I make it? Did I pass? Did I make any mistakes? What did I do? Start thinking about driving, but don't start daydreaming too much. Stay ready. Stay alert. So the junction here, checking both sides. We've got priority, but sometimes people come through here really quickly. We're going to do a forward bay park here actually. Let's do a forward bay park to the right. I'm going to aim for the bay next to this car here. The one over there will be harder to do because then I might get too close to that car. But on this one, check my mirror, check my blind spot. It's nice and easy to tuck my car in next to them. Yeah, that way it's a lot easier. Check both sides. It's looking good. Stop there. Secure the car. Handbrake neutral. And I'm happy with it because I can see in the little mirrors that it's inside the bay. If I wasn't sure, I'd come out and check. But it's looking good. And then the examiner will say reverse out, so we're facing that way. So I'm gonna get my car into reverse, look around. It's downhill, so I can keep my clutch down while gravity pulls us down. Checking everywhere. Over my shoulders. Clutch up a little bit so I can get a bit more power because it's going a bit slow there. And then now check all around again. We're going to turn left into the test center. Nice and slow, keeping to my side. And then normally the examiner will get you to pull over just somewhere like around here, close to the left so you're out of the way. Just gonna go a bit forward. and then stop somewhere like here. So this is where they'll give you, you just secure your car, turn the engine off, and then they'll tell you, congratulations, you passed, and then they'll give you a certificate. So guys, let me know what you thought of that route. Do you think it's hard? Do you think it's easy? Have you seen any harder ones? Or compared to some other test centers, how do you think that route fares? Let me know in the comments below. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.